Welcome back to Red Hawk Media. Today we begin the 6th part of our 2D platform game. When last we left off, let's take a look at our game itself here. Go ahead and play this. We've got our character, platforms, we've got obstacles that now take life, and we have a restart box. So if I fall off, it starts back up, and then we have a game over screen. So once the hit points actually reach 0, the game over screen pops up, and we've got the play again button that will take us back to the game. Alright, next step here to make this more of an official app-like game is we have to have a startup screen. Okay, we're going to go ahead and begin with that. Let's take a look here. First thing, I've got my 2 scenes that I've created so far. I have the stage 1, which is my first level, and then I have the game over scene. What I want to do is I want to create another scene. Now in order to do that, I go up to Window, I go to Other Panels, and then I go to Scene. And that brings this box up. I can drag this over onto my my tool palette here, and actually let's get that off of there really quick. Like, I don't want that on there. Just kidding. Let's get that off as a separate box here. And here's what I'm going to do. Once I have the scene box open, I'm going to go ahead and create a new scene. And double click on it, change the name to Start Menu. And we go close here. And actually, before we go anywhere, we're going to make sure that that's the first thing in here. So the Start menu will play first. That'll lead me to stage 1, which leads, of course, to the game over. So on the Start menu, let's go ahead and start formatting that. I currently have that set up. And come on over here to my workspace. And I'm just going to keep it really simple for the purpose of a short tutorial here. And I'm going to create 2 buttons. Okay, the first one, the most important one, let's go ahead and get this back over here. The first one that I want is actually a starting button. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. Let's go with a basic fill. I'm just going to go with black on this, and actually let's go with the gray for the stroke weight here. Alright, and solid, and we're good to go. Let's go ahead and draw our start button. Okay, and of course I can make this as fancy as I want. We're just going through this quickly. If you wanted to add on some rounded edges down in the under the rectangle options, let's say we put in 25 for the radius here, and this is what I would get. More of a button looking shape here, and then I can go ahead and just get rid of this one here. Alright, so now I've got my start button, and I'm going to add some text onto it. So very quickly grab the text tool. Let's make sure we got a black font. Alright, and that's going to be probably too big. Try this out here, and I'll have to shrink that down. Start. Okay, and this all resized. That might actually fit on there, so we go ahead and drag this down here, and we're all good to go. Now I'm going to, with the pointer tool, select everything here, and I'm going to convert it to a symbol. On the symbol, we're just going to call it button. We can call it start, we can call it whatever we want, but go ahead and put just start. Put the registration right in the middle, make sure that it's a movie clip, and then click OK. Alright, once we've got that, we can actually right-click on this, and the same exact code that we put on our game over thing, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in here. Okay, the only difference is this time, actually there is no difference, because the start screen is going to lead to stage 1, which is the first level of my game. So I've got the code on there, so when I click that, it will take me to stage 1. And I put that right into the actions of the button symbol here. Okay, one more thing that we have to do to make sure that we actually see the screen when we first start. Let's create a second layer, and we're going to label this layer. So on that layer, let's go ahead and on the first frame, we're going to put in a action on the first frame, and we're going to type in stop, open and close parentheses, and semicolon. And we're all good there. Now, on this particular label here, we're going to call this we'll call it the same exact thing. Well, we have to call it the same thing as our scene. So start menu. Alright, start menu. There we go. Alright, so we now have this labeled exactly the same. Sorry for the confusion. So just to clarify, we name the scene Start Menu, all lowercase. The label for this particular layer, layer 2, which is going to stop this to play actually, is Start Menu. Okay, and we're all set up there. Now, from here, I should be able to switch back to my other scene, my stage 1 scene. In fact, I should be able to test this out from the Start Menu now and go Command Enter. And that brings up this screen right away, and when I mouse over this, I've got my button action, and it takes me to the game. So that button is all good. Now if I want to, and I would highly recommend this because most apps or 2D games have these, I would add in another button here that's going to be in Options. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and create the scene itself. So again, I'm going to go up to Window because I closed that window on me, and I'm going to go to Scene under Other Panels. I'm going to add on a new scene, and I'm going to call this, let's just call it Options. Scene 5, Options. There we go. Alright. Now the Options one is going to be created. There we go. And we'll go back to the Start Menu for the time being. Let's create our button here. So grab the rectangle tool again, still have the same radius. Let's make it a different fill color so it sticks out. And then let's go ahead and draw this out. And we've got that button. And I'm going really quick. This is kind of sloppy. I apologize here. Oops. Okay. And then we can free transform that just to line them up to make sure that they're the same exact size. If I wanted to double check it, I could do one of these. Okay, but it looks like we're in good shape here. Alright, and we close that up. Now let's go ahead and put the text over the top just like before. So we're going to grab a black text. And I'm going to go ahead and draw that box over here. And I'm going to say Options. Okay, this is a little bit bigger font, so we'll stretch this out just enough to fit the S in there. Squeeze that down, and let's see if I can get that onto the button. And I cannot, so I'm going to grab the text tool again. We're going to shrink that all down. Okay, and let's go to the font, and that should be pretty good right there. Go ahead and bring this in, bring that up, and there we go. Alright, not too bad. Now we've got our button, same thing as before. We're going to go ahead and highlight all of this, and then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go Convert to Symbol. This symbol I'm going to call Options. Okay, registration's in the middle. It's a movie click. I click OK, blah blah blah. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create the code for this. So on layer 2 that's already up, I'm going to go ahead and right click on this, use the same code that I used before, which I should still have on the copy and paste, Command V, and this time I'm not going to stage 1, I'm actually going to go to Options. And we can double check that up here. It's got to be exactly the same as what I've got here, same casing, all that, and that looks good, and I click Done with that. Now let's switch over to our Options scene here. This is going to be my Options page. I just want to have something on here to identify that it's actually the Options page for now, and then we can go ahead and clarify what's going on here. So let's go ahead and just type Options. Let's say Game Options. There we go. Alright, now go ahead and shrink that up. And there we go. Now I should be able to identify this on this level just like before. I got to create a new layer. Okay, on that layer I'm going to click on the first frame. I'm going to add some actions to it, and I'm going to say stop, open and close, and semicolon, just like that. So just as before, close that up, and I'm going to label this as my Options so that when it gets to that frame 1 of the second layer of this scene, it will know that this is the Options screen and it's to stop here. Okay, so that's all labeled out. Now back on layer 1, let's go ahead and create our primitive button again, and let's have it be like the width of this. And I would have actually options on here of how the gameplay goes, so I'll maybe drop my character on here, talk about which keys I use to operate everything, the controls, and the options might be better listed as like the controls. It's up to you, depending on how you want to set this up. But go ahead and put some text on here. And let's change up the font to black so we can see it. And let's say main menu. Alright, and I stretch that out a little bit further. And we got it all in there. And now let's go ahead and move that so it's sitting on the button. Boom. Okay, and let's center it a little bit better here. There we go. Something like that. Highlight all of it. Right click, convert to symbol. And this one I'm going to call main menu. Okay, and OK. And right click on it. And add my actions. So this is the button code here that's listed in the description. Go Command V. And this time I'm going back to the menu, which if we check our scenes really quick, it's called Start Menu. So I replace Stage 1 with Start. Command Z, where are you going? Alright, let's go to Start Menu, as so. Alright, and then I click Stop there. And we're all good. I believe that's everything that's on here. Let's go ahead and test all this out and see if it works. I'm just going to hit Command Enter here. And this should start my game. We're all good there. Close that. And we'll go Command Enter. And this should go to my options screen. And this should go back to my main menu. Hey, look at that. So now I could go back and I could change the text of these things so that it reflects a little bit more of maybe what I want. So instead of options, maybe it's controls. Whatever you think the person playing your game would have to know to operate it and have a good time. Maybe you explain the scoring, any of those things. Think about what you normally see at the beginning of a 2D platform game that's sold as an app here. So at this point, at the end of the tutorial, you should have a start page, an options or control page. You've got your game over page, and then you've got the first level of your game. And that will take us on to the next part, which will be part 7. Part 7, I'll show you how to do the score, how to add that on. And I think that'll be a twofer. I'll show you how to do the score, and I'll show you how to add on doors to other levels so you can start your level creation here. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Red Hawk Media.